is Shanice Francis. I'm a student at Oakwood University. I'm currently a sophomore and I'm a nursing major. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about just something that I overcame, and I know that's pretty relevant to a lot of young women especially. So yes. So before I start, I just want to read this text from the Bible. Psalm 139 verse 14, and it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. So growing up, it was just like any other child. I had both of my parents home, and I am an only child. And the only difference is that my dad, although he was present in my life, he always, provided whenever necessary. He always made sure that he was available. As far as like an emotional attachment, it kind of wasn't there. And so growing up, I didn't really look into it. I didn't see it as anything big. But as I started to get older, it kind of made me a little bit insecure because I didn't grow up always hearing that I'm beautiful. I didn't always grow up hearing that I'm appreciated, that I'm special. And so in the 3rd grade, my mom decided that she wanted to give me a perm. And oh my gosh, at first I was excited because yeah, straight hair, that's awesome. And so it was pretty okay. And then when I finally got to about the 9th grade, my hair started to fall off. And although my hair was never really like long or anything like that, my hair always stayed by my collarbone. So I wasn't used to anything shorter than that. So when my hair started falling out, it only added more of this feeling of insecurity that I had already had. And so I kind of got scared. I didn't want to show my face. I didn't want to leave the house unless like my hair was like in a weave or something like that. And so when I finally got to the 10th grade, I made the decision that I wanted to transition. And so I transitioned for about 11 months, and then I cut it all off. And so even after I cut my hair off, I still felt very uncomfortable because, it's been 11 years since I've actually knew what it was like to touch natural hair. So it was kind of like it was just like a new start, a new beginning for me. And so I kind of just stuck with wearing braids for like the first 3 months. And so at some point, my mom, she was just like, Shanice, your hair is growing, it's beautiful. And so I'm just like, Mom, I don't think I look pretty, I don't want to wear my hair out. And she just kind of encouraged me, come on, just wear it. So one day I finally did. And although it may seem small and insignificant, that action in itself was really big for me. Because for the first time in my life, I had to step out of my comfort zone and accept myself for who I am. And I can no longer hide under my hair, under the bangs or anything like that. I had a puff, and I had to embrace this new natural hair. And although I had a few people who said, hey, you look better with straight hair, you shouldn't have your hair like this, because I had already started accepting who I am, and I started accepting that this was the new me, this was what God wanted me to accept, those things didn't faze me anymore. And in doing that small action, it has allowed me to not only have confidence in myself, but it has also helped me to motivate other girls, because one of the girls that told me I looked better with straight hair, a few months later was the same one that went natural. She went natural for herself. And she came up to me and she was just like, you inspired me to be natural. And she started asking me for tips and stuff like that. And so basically, I just want to leave you guys with this charge. Especially the young women out there, don't be afraid to embrace yourself. I know that we've gotten so used to this whole thing of, we've gotten so used to the standard of beauty that we see on TV, that we see in the magazines, and even around people, even in our communities, when we see people walking around, they may not fully embrace themselves. But like the text was saying, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And even if you didn't grow up with having a father in your life to tell you that you're beautiful, or having anybody to tell you that, hey, you're gorgeous, understand that God has already called you gorgeous. God has already seen you as beautiful. You're made in His image. And yeah, I just wanted to leave you guys with that. And it's going to be a tough journey. I promise you that. But if you allow yourself to take that step of faith, God will honor that and He will help you. And that's the end of my story. And I hope you guys enjoy.
Hi, my name is Carol Thomas. I am a sophomore at Oakwood University. I'm studying physical therapy, and one thing I am currently overcoming is my fear of people. Now I know that sounds like super weird, but I've always been like a huge, super introvert, and so I usually don't talk to people that I don't know. It's one of those scary things for me. It's weird, but I'm currently overcoming that, and God has just been like working on me. When I came to Oakwood, I had people that I came with. I came with like half of my senior class from my high school, but like we didn't like talk or anything while we were here. We kind of just formed our own different groups of friends, and I was like by myself. Didn't really want to talk to anyone, and then God was just like, well, I'm not going to let you be a loner for the next however many years. So He sent me this first of all, He gave me an awesome roommate. My roommate, Symphony Sobers, if anyone knows her. Yeah, she's like super sweet and awesome. And from there, she's just been introducing me to her friends, and God has just like let me run into people randomly, and we started a conversation, and like the friendship has just grown from there. And now I have about 15 people that I can say are my true friends, that I can rely on, I can go to for anything, that I can hang out with, do homework with, eat with, pray with. It's been a very wild experience, and yeah. So I'm still overcoming that, still a little bit shy, but I hope that in the next few years that, God will take me out of my shell completely, and I'll be able to be the people person that I want to be. So yeah, that's what I'm overcoming.
So something that I overcame, or God helped me through, I would definitely say it's been a heartbreak. I was in a relationship, and we were together, and, of course, and I really liked her. But as time grew, feelings just started to grow, and just things started to mess up after a couple years, like a year and a couple months. And after we broke up, that's just when I kind of just went like haywire. Like I was just doing the wrong things, trying to search for her in the wrong places. Started doing drugs, and just started doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But God brought me through it. And, how He did it was He really had to show me, like, this is not the way. He is the way. And I realized that I was almost, I was replacing her. I was placing Jesus for her, if that makes sense. It was more of like putting her on a pedestal, like she was my life. Everything ran around her, and that could really mess you up. If the center of your heart is not focused on Jesus, or Jesus is not the center of everything in your life. And so He really had to show that to me. And as time progressed, the heartbreak started healing, and I guess I'm good now. I wouldn't say I'm great now, because God is good. But that's something that I've overcome, heartbreak. I just thank God for bringing me through. and God really showed me that He loves me. So.
Hello, my name is Erwin Stuffel. I'm a junior biomedical science major at Oakwood University, and today I'm going to talk about like how I overcame issues I was having with my weight, I guess, when I was younger. So when I was younger, like really young, maybe 7, 8 years old, I was really skinny. But then as I grew, went through puberty, I started to be chubby. I was like the fat kid in school. And I wasn't overly big, like obese maybe, but I was still uncomfortable with my weight for a long time. So when I was around 16, I decided that by the time I graduated from high school that I wanted to lose all this weight. I didn't want to be overweight anymore. I wanted to be a regular, healthy weight. So I started to work out and diet and exercise, and it was hard, and it was a long, grueling process. But I remember praying about it. During that time, running had become a very big part of my life, and I hated running at first, but with God's help, I believe, He was able to help me stick to it, be committed to becoming healthy, transforming my body. And I remember running, and my favorite text is Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ. So I would repeat that in my head over and over and over again as I was running to help me finish my runs. And I'm just, even now, a year ago I decided to become a vegetarian, and it's still the process of adopting a healthy lifestyle, it's a very long process, and to this day I'm still thankful to God for helping me stick to it and persevere. I want to become vegan, so that's my next big step. It's really hard because I really like cheese, but I know with God all things are possible, and I can do all things through Him.
Hello, my name is Ariel Moore. I'm a freshman biochemistry major. I go to Oakwood University, and one thing I overcame was my grades second semester. Second semester came, and a lot of things started popping up in my life that started to take my attention away from some of my grades. So when it came to my chemistry grades, I wasn't doing as well as I would have liked to on certain tests, and I started to get very stressed about how my grade was going to turn out at the end of the semester. And I began to pray about it, and I really asked God to give me like a lot of focus and to push through and do as well as I could the rest of the year. So that's what I tried to do, and I realized that it already was working out in my favor because of the way the grades are set up. I was actually not doing as bad as I thought I was. So by the end of the semester, I was able to bring my grade up some more. And the semester is still happening, so I just overcame that fear of not knowing how I would do and the fear of getting a bad grade. And I turned it into being able to trust God and work through, push hard to the end of my classes. So that's how I learned.
Hi, my name is Data, and I'm here to kind of just shed light on what I've overcome in my young life. What I not struggle with, or I am continuing to try to understand, is an ongoing process. I feel like when God does something for you, it's an ongoing journey, and you're supposed to continuously grow from that hardship. And so I overcame depression and a little bit of worrying a lot, and it was a long time. It was about maybe 2 years, and it was one of the hardest times of my young adult life. Like, I was struggling with this for no reason, and it even got to the point where my mom was wondering if it was hormones in the food and other stuff like that, because I had it for no reason. And it got so bad that I had to go see somebody and talk it out. And then, I was embarrassed because culturally it's like a stigma. You don't really talk about, your feelings or your emotions. You kind of just stick through it. And I think we all kind of understand that. But what God told me is that literally all the answers to our questions and our problems are written. It's just whether you're going to take the time to use that to your own benefit. So my advice is to continue to seek help, and sometimes help is God sending you to somebody to talk about it, because we don't always have the answers, and it's okay to ask for help.
Hi, my name is Grayson Mejia. I am a sophomore here at Oakwood University. I'm a double major in applied mathematics and civil engineering. And I want to tell you a story of how my faith in God grew, how I overcame my doubts in God. Last summer, I did literature evangelism in southern Georgia. And we went to Columbus the second week into the summer. And so what happened was that I think it was a week after that. It was like, so there was the second week, and then the following week we had some. I had noticed that all my friends seemed to be like doing well, and it seemed like God was blessing them and whatever, and everyone's doing well with their sales, and everyone was happy. And then I was making like less than $100 a day, like $50, $60, $70 a day, and selling 2 or 3, 4, whatever books. I was like, is God forgetting me? Why isn't God blessing me? And I called my mom and said, okay, Mom, I think I want to go home. And then I mean, I'm tired of this. And then she said, grace and trust in God. Test Him and pray to Him. Tell Him that you're not satisfied, that you want to see God do big things in your life, or at least for the summer. And yes, you really want to make a difference, increase your sales. Cast all your cares upon the Lord. And I was like, okay. So then I took it to Him in prayer, and then I said, okay, Lord, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So please help me. Please help me fix whatever the problem is. And then the next day, I sold, the next 2 days each, I sold 7 books and made at least $100. So I think, and especially the number 7, that was God's way of saying that, proving Himself, that showing His power to me.
Okay, my name is Jessica Harris. I am a sophomore. My major is speech pathology, and I overcame being alone. Since I'm an only child, I'm always alone all the time, and it took connecting with God to know that I wasn't alone. So that's how I reached out to Him, just praying all the time, and Him being there for me, allowing me to see that even though it might seem that other humans aren't around, God's always there.
Hi, my name is Raina Street. I attend Oakwood University and am a freshman, currently undecided. I was asked the question, what have I overcome? And I believe I've overcome the feeling to, feel accepted by people who don't quite understand me, or people that aren't going the same places I'm going, or people that just don't have the same personality type as I do. I think that I've also, I haven't overcome my fears, but I just have come to a realization in knowing that when I do, I'm definitely going to be going where God wants me to go. And I think that's about it.
Hello, my name is Jordan Lee Pritchard, and I am a sophomore student here at Oakwood University. I'm studying applied math and engineering, and this year I became an RA. And one of the things that I was afraid I would struggle with a lot is not being able to communicate efficiently or effectively, because I'm a very introverted person, and so I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to comfort the young ladies in need, or to correct them where they'd gone wrong. But one way that I was able to overcome that was by attempting more to look at the underlying causes of the issue rather than just the outward behavior that they were exhibiting. and I had a great team working with me. I don't think I would have been able to do that if I hadn't had the team that I've been working with. We were able to, at times when my vision or my way of acting might have been cloudy, they were able to step in and also, address the underlying causes behind people acting out, and work with them through that hurt to overcome that.
Hi, I am Symphony A. Sobers, and when I was younger, it took me a longer time than the average child to develop my speech. At 4 or 5, I was still kind of at the stage where I was repeating what my mother said, what others would say to me without really understanding what they were asking or saying. Mom would be like, "Hi," I'd be like, "Hi." She'd be like, "How are you?" I'd be like, "How are you?" Yeah, at 3, Mom had, I was also occupationally challenged, so that, but at 3, I started piano lessons. Mom put me on piano lessons, and so that helped with the hand-eye coordination. And as far as speech, I had occupational therapy, and my mom would always sing, and I would always be with her. So I guess singing kind of helped. And yeah, now I can't stop talking, and I write poetry and I sing, and kinesthetically, I play the piano. I've been playing for, how old am I? 17 years. Yeah, and and now I'm pursuing dancing. So those are the things I overcame.
How you doing? My name is Timothy Harris. I'm a student of Oakland University, and this is how I overcame my Greek class. Long ago I was in 9th grade classroom, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, about the struggles, the stuff I've had to deal with, and I was asking myself, I call myself a Christian, but I cuss and carry on. I'm a hypocrite. And I told the Lord, I'm yours, and since then He's called me to be the minister and confirmed to me to come to Oakwood. Now, there's certain classes I have to take. One is Greek 1, and I probably did not take it as, much diligence as I should have, and I found myself failing the class. It seemed every time I would go up points, I would go back down points, and I was still failing. And if I failed this class, I had to wait till next year to take the class, which could have the possibility to push me back another year. So I'm there, I'm stressed, and I'm studying hard, and coming Thanksgiving time, God gave this word to me. It was in Acts 27, and it was dealing with how earlier on in the book, Paul was with the sailors, he was going to Rome, with the soldiers, and they got caught in a storm. And after long abstinence, it said, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, "Sirs, you should have hearkened to me and not have loosed from Crete, and have gained this harm and loss. And I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of any man's life among you but the ship. For there stood by me this night the angel of God, whose I am and whom I serve, saying, Fear not, Paul, thou must be brought before Caesar, and lo, God hath given thee all them that sit with thee. Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe God, that shall be even as it was told me." And what God was telling me was that to be happy, Timothy, be positive, be of good cheer, for you're not going to fail Greek, for there's still many things I need for you to do. God still plans me to graduate from Oakwood and to go out in the field and do His will. And that spoke to me. And also when Paul said, "For I believe God," and the words which He has spoken unto me, it was just basically emphasized to me that, God calls you into this thing. And that if I believe what He has told me to, if I believe that He's told me He would bring me through, or I believe in if I believe in the calling He was calling me to do, then He's going to bring me through this. And behold, I passed Greek. with a B+ in the class. And I was praising God because I knew that it was nothing but Him that brought me through that class. I have never taken a class like that before, but now I know that if I trust Him, put my faith in Him, then I can overcome.
What's up? How y'all doing, man? My name is Daniel Bennon. I am a junior theology major here at Oakwood University, and I'm 22 years old, and I've been walking with the Lord since I was 17 years old. One thing that really sticks to my mind when my brother was asking me, about overcoming, a story comes back to mind when I was around 18, 19 years old, and I was struggling with, really accepting God's call, to go into ministry. And I knew the Lord since I was 17 years old. But it took me, just a little bit to be able to really figure out and really see exactly if I really wanted to go into ministry or not. There'd be times where my father, he was a pastor, he would go and preach different places, and people would come and say, "You're going to be a pastor just like your dad, you're going to be a pastor." And I'm just like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that calling upon my life. And as I began to reflect on that and grow my relationship with God, it came until around March 2014. I knew Jesus as Savior, but I wasn't really fully coming to grips with really accepting Him as Lord. And I was really struggling with, Him telling me that I was going to become a pastor when I prayed for a whole week straight. And like, God, what is my purpose? What do you really want me to do? What is your will? And He was telling me that, I'm calling you to be a pastor. And I still didn't really come to grips with that, so it took me just a little bit to be able to, really trust God and really just get Him to see that, He knows what's best for me in my life and the purpose He has for me. And it took me about a month. In April 2014, I was around 18 years old, and I finally accepted the call to go into ministry. But my thing was, it was scary, kind of, knowing that God was calling me to be a pastor. I just didn't want that burden upon my life. But, God helped me to really trust Him fully and really accept Him as Savior and Lord. And like I said, I did know Him, but I wasn't fully coming to grips with His will until I just left it all in His hands and just said, "Lord, let your will be done." And I trusted in Him, and I am here today, studying, going to ministry, and in the happiest place of my life, man, because I know my purpose and I'm walking in it, and I'm trusting God each and every step of the way.